Hello, Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, and I am very, very happy today to bring my final, I guess, what do they call it? Haul video from Disney Parks from Galaxy's Edge. Now, I will say that I was fortunate enough to find a few items that were pretty new, and I was able to pick a few things up. I don't get everything that's in Galaxy's Edge. I kind of pick and choose because it's just there's a lot to be purchased, and I just don't have the time or the room or the money to get everything. But I do make some purchases here and there. I did want to put in a little update. I have yet to reach out to Disney Parks about my, first order escape vehicle debacle that was on the last episode. I will get to that very soon. The problem I was running into just was that their phone systems are really rough. So every time I try to call, I have to wait online for a very long time. So I will continue to try and see what we got. But in the meantime, I do have some items that I'm pretty sure are going to be complete. Okay, so because they are pretty simple items. So I went and I took, if you go into Galaxy's Edge, there's a section that there are a lot of places to shop, but the main area is kind of like this covered like market, and you walk through and there are all these little dug in interior little caves, if you will, that you can go in to do different things. And one of the caves is this Toydarian toy maker. That is the theme of it, and I just absolutely love the Toydarian toy maker because they do such cool different night items, and everything that's in Galaxy's Edge, if you haven't already known this, is designed to be like it was bought only. First of all, it's exclusive to Galaxy's Edge, except maybe some of the during COVID and pandemics they've pushed out some of the items in like the Galactic Outposts or in some of the gift shops, but primarily everything in Galaxy's Edge is exclusive to Galaxy's Edge. But in addition, it's meant to be like items that are built in universe. Okay, so you're not getting Hasbro toys. You're getting toys that seem as though they're made by hand. So the first one I want to show is something that might look familiar to some of you, which is the wooden Stormtrooper doll, or Stormy, I think some people call. This is actually a throwback to Rogue One, where in the beginning of the movie you see that little Jin, as a 8, 9, 10-year-old, has a little Stormtrooper doll, that kind of handmade doll, and then when she's running from the Death Troopers, they see it on the ground and pick it up. They decided to kind of capitalize on this and make what is essentially a handmade doll. So now I do want to point out this. I do like how they sell this. It is obviously done good for the environment. It has no plastic on it. It is just a cardboard box, okay? And I do like the art of the cardboard box. It's pretty straightforward and simple and unique to Galaxy's Edge, so that's really cool. But I do want to take this one out just because I love it, and I want to get it out of this thing. Now it does have a little stand, which is also, appreciative. And as I've said with other things, there's not a lot of instructions that go along with this stuff. But that's okay. It does have some twisty ties here. Ooh, sorry if my mic is clicking. It's got some twisty ties here. Let me just get those. Pretty simple stuff. Nothing too crazy. You can pull them out here. Drop them in there. Pull this one out here. Ooh, this has even got some pieces of wood there. That's interesting. All right. And then it's got, I think on the back here, one more. Pretty simple. And I love that they do this. It's like, to me, it's like action figures that are in Star Wars. Like Star Wars has been, and another thing, there's another like element in Star Wars that I guess you can call it. What do they call it? Meta. It was like the very end of Last Jedi when they focused on the kids telling their stories, and how they were actually playing with handmade action figures. So Star Wars, figures are such a part of Star Wars as it is, and yet so much so that the characters, the children, were actually playing with figures, which I thought was really cool. So this is just a little, again, it's meant to just be I think it'll come right out, yeah, okay. It's just a little wooden doll, nothing serious. It's got a little spring on its head, it's got a little bendy arms. It can hit me in the head. And it's just like a nice kind of, again, it has a feeling of being handmade. which is just a unique kind of thing that you don't always see with Star Wars. I mean, obviously we've been growing up with Hasbro and Kenner action figures. So, and then it comes with this nice little black stand with a little kind of armature that it can hold it in place. So there you go. Okay, so awesome little piece. Okay, kind of artistic, a little unique to Galaxy's Edge. You know, I think one of the things that I'm going to probably do, you know, as I age, I start to look around and say, okay, what things am I going to start getting rid of? What things am I going to start pulling back on? And there are some things that I'm going to eventually part with one at a time, little at a time. But one of the things that I think I would keep is a Galaxy's Edge kind of area, like a little section, so that I can just, you know, add and subtract from it as we go. So now, having a Stormtrooper doll is fun, but having a Boba Fett doll is epic, and I'm so excited that they did it. And thankfully, they are not going to be producing, you know, every single figure. They're just kind of finding a handful of the more notable ones. I think that, and I think that there's I'm not 100% sure, but I think that there is a little bit of story to this. I think that there is, you know, Boba Fett came later, and I think that with the advent, I don't know if this came out after Boba Fett's reintroduction in The Mandalorian, but if it did, it would make sense because, you know, with Boba Fett's reintroduction, you kind of get this sense of, okay, we now have this legend of this bounty hunter named Boba Fett, kind of like we have the legend of Luke Skywalker. So I kind of like that the idea of making Boba Fett kind of a legend, even though he's a simple man trying to make his way in the galaxy. But I think it's really cool to give him a little bit more status than that and give him the more of a legendary kind of thing. All right, see if I can get this out. There it is. Okay, drop this back in. And I don't keep these boxes, guys. I only keep boxes if there are. When I open it up, people ask me that. Do you keep the boxes? I'm like, I do keep the vintage looking boxes, meaning like the original Kenner. When I buy, like, you know, the ooh, this has an interesting. Boba Fett is taped. See if I can get him out of here. There he goes. All right. Huh. That is interesting. He is literally taped. Not quite sure why he's taped. See if I can get some of this tape cut. All right. I don't like the tape. The tape is it's not tape. It's like a cellophane almost. Yeah, there we go. I just think, it's because I know why. It's because his belt the wood on the belt is a little bit shinier than the rest of the wood. Look at this little guy. Oh, I gotta move his head. Come on. There he is. Come on, get your head forward. Hello. It's kind of like bobblehead meets, bobblehead meets one of those, like those little, armature kind of dolls that they use, but with the springs on them. So pretty cool. Let me just get this wire off of his thing here, and this, and this. Okay. Get him on his thing there. There we go. Now we have little Boba Fett. So the little Stormy guy has a little partner, a little company. All right. Very cool. Let's put these guys there. Oh, but we're not done yet, folks. Okay, we got two more items here. First, there are only two. I bought two of the kind of plush dolls. There's Yoda, not Baby Yoda or Grogu, but actual Yoda. I think I bought that just because at the time it was kind of the only thing close to Baby Yoda yet. But there he is. And then you got Doc Undar. I love Doc Undar. He's the guy that owns the Den of Antiquities, the really high-end collectible place in there. Really cool. Hey, Doc. How you doing? And he's just a really cool looking figure, and it comes with a lot of detail. And it's the only Doc Undar figure. That's it. I'm sure they'll come up with an action figure, a Black Series, a 3 3/4 inch eventually. But right now, it's all we got. So I go with that. And lastly, now this one is my favorite. This one is a Darth Vader marionette puppet. Now, why marionette? Well, part of this comes from a story within Galaxy's Edge. When you go into the Toydarian Toy Maker's store, or a little store hut, and you look through it, you'll see, if you look up, that she's got all of these handmade toys that are like a huge Millennium Falcon, a huge Star Destroyer. I think there's a Death Star, there's a Jabba sail barge, but it's all handmade with like handmade junk and pieces. And I bet you, and including with that, they had an Obi-Wan and Vader marionettes kind of hanging and suspended up there fighting each other. I believe wholeheartedly that people walked in and said, I want the Darth Vader marionette, I want the Darth Vader, and they didn't have it to sell. It was just a display piece. So fast forward a year or two later, and now we have a Darth Vader marionette. And if they don't already have an Obi-Wan that I just couldn't get that day because it wasn't there, it's coming. I guarantee you it's coming. So it's just such a cool, I love when you take like this combination of things. There's a lot of things that I love, like taking old toy ideas, like old vintage, really vintage, not just Star Wars vintage, but like excessively vintage toy ideas like puppetry, marionettes, things of that nature, and you put a Star Wars spin on them. You know, it's like having nutcrackers. I mean, I love when they do, you know, Darth Vader or Yoda or Princess Leia nutcrackers, or even, you know, Disney ones or whatever, or like Russian nesting dolls. Those are another one that I love. All right, let me just get this one. I can just cut off. There we go. All right. Go a little bit further. Sorry for that. So yeah, so I don't know if they've already come out. Leave a comment if you've been to the parks recently, and if you know if they have actually made a Obi-Wan one. I can't believe that they're not going to capitalize on that. I'd be shocked. So I think they're going to do it. So we'll see. But anyway, so I'm almost positive that that's the whole reason why we have a Darth Vader marionette. I got to be careful not to tangle up the things. I've had some marionette toys in the past. I think I had a Daffy Duck when I was a kid, and that thing got tangled up like just by looking at the thing, and got tangled up. So it was kind of crazy, but I do, you know, absolutely appreciate it. So all right, let's get this thing. Are we out yet? Oh, no, one more. I don't want to pull too hard. Be careful when you're taking this out of the box, guys, because if you pull too hard, you're going to rip the strings, and you do not want to rip the strings of a marionette puppet. All right. Let's see how we do this. I'm going to have to move this over here. All right, this one might take a little bit of doing here, so let me just... yeah, like anything else, there's... almost. There's just a little bit of tangling got to undo. It's not too bad. It's in pretty good shape. Oh my goodness, this thing is like... Shh. Well, I give a lot of respect for puppets. Oh. It feels as though one of the threads, one of the arms is not... Unless it's... Oh, maybe it's... Oh, boy. I have to go around. Like, sorry if I'm... Oops. Sorry. There we go. All right. Again, they don't do instructions, but you can see that with a little bit of work, you know, you do a little bit with hands and stuff. Good luck trying to get this thing to fight. Sometimes you have to... Oh, maybe that's part of it. You have to be like, I am your father. No, Luke. And I love that it just has this kind of dorky kind of almost a simplicity to it. So what I'd like to do is over here where the Galaxy's Edge stuff is, I'd like to maybe just hang it. Just like drape the thing over the top there so it'll just hang. And then maybe eventually I'll get the Obi-Wan figure to go with it. So that is awesome. So he walks pretty easily. And kicks. Hey! Kicking Vader. Okay. So that is going to do it for this episode. So unlike last episode where I was not happy with the item because it was missing stuff, this one, the older, more old-fashioned style of figure was definitely easier to keep in, you know, make sure that it was in one piece, and it all came back looking good, and I have no complaints. Thank you, Toydarian Toymaker. Thank you, Galaxy's Edge. Thank you, Disney. And we are done. So have a nice day, everybody. Until next time, make sure you check out all my other videos. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification button. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter. War of the Stars podcast, of which I'm co-hosting now, wherever podcasts are dropped. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you.